If you want the most moist, delicious apple fritter cake you've ever had, then keep watching and I'll show you how I do it. I got this recipe from Kraffty. I've made it a few times and it's so good. Every time I have it, it's so good. You can use whatever apples you want. I'm using fresh apples. I don't remember where these came from. I think my mom might have brought them over here a few days ago for my children because they're like very small apples, but I'm gonna use probably all of them for this recipe. I need 3.5 cups of diced up apples. First step is peel the apples. And so I'm gonna peel all my apples and I'll do that. Just like that. Now we're gonna dice them. I have not found a hack for this, so if someone knows of one, let me know. But I usually just dice it into 4 pieces. I have my small paring knife so I can get the middle out easier. And then I usually just very carefully just kind of cut the inside out. You have to kind of scoop it out for the core to come out. And that's what I do. If someone knows of a faster way, please enlighten me. The next step is we're gonna be dicing the apples. I like very small pieces, so I slice them very thin. I'm sure you could do it a little thicker, but I think that you're gonna have better results with smaller pieces. And I know it's a little bit tedious, all the chopping, but I promise you it's worth it. This is so good. Here's how small I have them diced, really small pieces. Into our skillet, we're adding 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and letting that melt completely. Now that the butter is all melted, I'm adding in my 3.5 cups of apples, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And mix that all together. Now that it's all really well combined, I'm gonna let this cook down for about 8 to 10 minutes on like medium-low heat, and I'll keep just stirring it every once in a while. It smells absolutely divine. I'm adding 1 stick of butter, unsalted, and I'm also adding 1/2 cup of coconut oil. That's the, I think the only difference in my her recipe and how I do it is I use coconut oil instead of vegetable oil, and I also use almond milk instead of regular dairy milk. And oftentimes I'll use dairy-free butter too, but this is just what I have right now. I try to stay away from canola, vegetable, and all those like super processed oils. I find coconut oil is just better for me in my digestive system, so that's why I'm using it. You can use whatever oil works for you. And any additional coconut oil that gets on your hands, you can just rub it in. Makes your skin very soft. Now that we have our butter and coconut oil all melted, I'm gonna be adding 1/2 cup of almond milk. This is the one I use. We just started using the extra creamy one and it's really good. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 eggs. I'm gonna do it at the same time because I got skills. That was terrible. 2 out of 10. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And mix that all together. Next, we add in 2.5 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's about right. The recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. I'm gonna use 1/2. I liked it a little better when I added a little bit more the last time. And I'm also gonna be adding in 1 full teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, I just liked it a little better. The original recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon. And now give that a good mix. My batter is a little thicker than I like it, so I'm gonna add a splash more of almond milk and I'll show you the consistency I like it to be. All right, this is the kind of consistency I'm going for on the dough batter for the cake. So I don't know exactly how much more I added, but I just kept adding a little bit at a time until I got here. And now I'm happy, so like that. I cooked my apples for probably about 10 to 15 minutes actually. I just did it while I was putting the cake batter together, and this is what we're looking like. I like them very cooked down, like super tender. From 3.5 cups, we're down to about 2 cups after they cook down. We're gonna be putting 1/2 of this into the batter mixture and the rest is gonna go on top. So about 1 cup will go in here. Roughly, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fold that in. I like to wrinkle up my parchment paper. I find it fits the pans a lot better. Crumble it up. All right, I gave that a little spray with some cooking oil, and now I'm gonna add all of this batter into this cooking 8x8 dish, like a cake dish, I don't know, 8x8. Get that all in there. On top, you're gonna take the other half of your apples and you're gonna put them on top. I like to use a spoon and spoon them on top. That way I can kind of just get them more evenly layered on there. So do that, and then after we put the apples on here, we're gonna put some brown sugar on top too. Now I have a couple tablespoons of brown sugar, more or less, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this on top. This is gonna go into the oven at 350 degrees for about 50 to 60 minutes. For my glaze, I have 1 cup of powdered sugar, and I'm using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond milk. It doesn't matter what, you can use dairy. This is what I'm using. I'm gonna start with 2 and then add more if I need to. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I think the recipe calls for like 1/4, but I love vanilla, so 1 teaspoon. And mix it all up. And then as you're mixing, it'll start to just, there you go, come together. But you want it to be like a good drizzle like that. This is perfect. I don't need anything else. And we'll set this aside until the cake is ready. Look how good that looks. Oh my God. All right, let's drizzle the stuff on top and then we can try it. I am just gonna go nothing fancy because I want this in my mouth like ASAP, so. Look how perfectly moist the inside is. So good. All right, let's try it. It is just perfect. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to hide this from myself so I don't eat all of it. It is delicious. Every single time I make this, it is a hit. I saved a little piece of apple for the goodest girl. The other goodest girl, but she's a little piranha, so.